Welcome to a new episode where we renovate, restore, fix up this 2004 Silverado we got with the salvage title. This truck does have its problems, specifically in the front end.
These things are looking a little tweaked
From our salvage situation. And in the rear, we'll show you in a second. We're at the phase where we want to get this truck back to looking like it normally should, as far as things being bent and tweaked and whatnot from years of abuse, because this thing has 250,000 miles on it. Let's keep in mind that this truck needs a lot of work, like a lot. But we're in the phase, like I said, where we just want to get it looking like it should, and then from there we can modify it and go on from there. Starting with the front end, if you could see right here, Randall and I walking up to show you, there's a huge gap between the fender and the hood. Okay, what is causing that? Well, actually the whole radiator support, and it's just one whole piece that you'll see here in a second, is actually tweaked, therefore causing the misalignment of the hood. You can see how much play this has. This is completely latched. Like, this should not be like this. There's a huge gap between the headlight and the grille and also the hood and everything, so everything's just not right. You come over here, if you look down, there is a gap where the front bumper meets the front fender. That's not pretty. We want to fix that. Also, we are missing a Chevy bow tie. We'll get one of those. And then the headlights are not in good shape. They could definitely be restored, but we want to replace those. These are fairly cheap on these cars, and everything for these trucks as far as parts go, you can find them anywhere. A bunch of brands make them, so it's nice to just be able to throw all new and get this thing caught up to looking nice again. But let's just start fresh. Walking to the back of the truck, what we want to fix today and accomplish is this rear bumper, like every Silverado out there, I swear. Someone hit it with a trailer, a car, or something. This whole side right here is actually pushed in, and if you come over here, you can see how it's actually dented our bedside right here, so we want to fix that. This thing needs a lot of work, but we want to fix that. And then on this side, it's definitely, you can see it's pushed in a little bit. It might be hard to tell on camera, but this is pushed in a little bit. But we did check the support, the braces that attach it to the actual bed, the chassis of the truck are not bent, so we just need to replace the bumper, which is actually easy to find, easy to replace, and we'll get to it. And then once the bumper is done, we will replace the taillights. Fixed up, let's start taking it apart. Well, first we got to check out all the parts first, know what we're working with, then we'll take it apart. Christmas came early a little bit over here.
I know, right?
Well, actually, you know what, let's talk about something really quick. How we got in touch with carparts.com. You ordered a bunch from them.
Yeah. I've ordered a lot of stuff for cars that I work on through them, so their shipping is super quick, which is why I usually like using them. Just a little cheaper than like AutoZone or O'Reilly's, and it's the same parts really. So. And
Randall, I needed something for one of my cars. He's like, you should order from carparts.com because shipping's super fast. You know what? I won't wait for O'Reilly's. I'll give him a shot. Ordered something. It came like the next day or the day after. I can't remember. Super quick. And then, you know, some time went by. And then you were like, dude, why don't you hit them up to see if they want to work with us on the channel?
Yeah. I've never had any connection with them, but like I said, I've just always used them for their stuff because save customers money, and yeah, you might wait a couple days, but it's worth it in the end for the same quality part at a cheaper price.
And you save time going to the store. You don't have to deal with it. It's like really easy to see what parts are available, different brands. So we're actually super stoked. This was a very organic thing for us. This wasn't just them hitting us up. We actually communicated with them. We're like, hey, we really want to work together. We've been buying from you. Can we do something? We have the perfect vehicle for it. And they said yes. So today's video is brought to you by carparts.com. Thanks, carparts.com. We'll have a link in the description to all these parts we covered today.
Looks like custom headlights.
This is basically all the new lights and the, what did you call these again?
That's what the headlights sit into. I don't know what the
housing?
technical name is for it, yeah, but these seem to always break on these older trucks. So if I had to guess, probably tail lights, headlights, and then these are the front lower lights.
Can we take a look at what's in here?
Yeah. A bow tie maybe?
I don't know if we ordered it.
Didn't?
I might have to get that another day.
Harry's. This is the hood latch. So the current latch you have is a little bent and tweaked up. So, and actually I think some of these, part of this is cut. So this will make our lives a lot easier. Fog light switch.
Oh, that's for the interior. Today is exterior only. Radiator support assembly. Don't
forget to run that high quality aluminum, boys.
And this is the piece causing most of the problems, don't you think? That's what you
Yes,
told me.
sir. Yeah, that's a very satisfying looking piece right
Yeah,
there.
this is a nice piece right here. You want to show them up close on this hitter? Oh,
Interior video.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, it comes with a bow tie. Didn't get lucky.
It's a nice looking piece though.
Chromie for the homies. Woo!
It's like fresh off the lot. Look with that thing.
Literally.
This is an honor because I think 999,000 out of 100,000 Chevys have a dented rear bumper.
Mm-hmm.
This thing's gonna look nice. Chromies for the home. That's how we attach it. Got our chrome lamp and harness for our license plate lights. And then here, see what we got. More brackets to mount it to these replacements. And then we have all the hardware needed. And that's it. Let's start taking the truck apart. With this thing being wrecked, you have to find like the perfect spot. Like it won't open like all the way up. You gotta like you have to put it like right in the middle. Right there. Slides down a little bit, then I can push my lever, and you can see here there's our radiator support. So we're gonna tear it down all the way to right here. Got our latch, all this kind of jank stuff you see going on. So we're gonna fix that all up. Let's start taking it apart.
I've never done a core support on one of these, but I believe the correct way to do it would be to completely remove the radiator and the condenser, but we're gonna try to avoid having to do that. So we'll see, but we might have to remove those two items in order to get everything in there easier. First thing we're gonna do is pull out the headlights. Super simple. This little pin right here just pulls out, just like that. Remove your connectors or your bulbs. Throw these in the trash. Remove these bottom ones. If you can see right up in here, right where my pointer finger is, there's a little clip. You're gonna push that and pull out. Now I'm just gonna move these light harnesses, just kind of push them back behind here, and then once we reinstall the new one, we'll go ahead and figure out where they go according to the light position. Same thing on this side, pull that out. So a classic thing on these trucks, which I see so many different repairs, because If you own one of these, you probably know these bottom lights seem to always pop out because these clips break. So there's so many different ways to people kind of jank them up to get them to fix them. So you can see here we got a couple drywall screws in there. That's a pretty classic one, but it works. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So essentially what they're doing is just kind of bringing the clip out because, like I said, this stuff breaks. What we call a classic Chevy move.
Go ahead.
So next we're gonna remove the headlight bracket assembly. So we have a couple T25 Torx, and then we have a couple 10 millimeters. So we have one 10 here and one 10 here, and this will pop right off. We got another 10 right down here, if I can. And then right up top right here, the last one. I might have lied. We got one more somewhere right here. Oh, and another. Just like that. That comes out.
When you guys get this far, you're probably not going to see this aftermarket transmission cooler, so just be aware.
$10 millimeter. So as you can see, this thing's all chewed up, broken. So to get this cable out, squeeze on the back side of this plastic tab here. Slowly just work it out, like so. And then this right here, you move this that way, and that will just fall out, like so.
What are you doing?
Trying to find a hose that I can slip on it, so we can just drain it out through a hose.
Is it that one with the little ears on it? That's the plug?
Yeah.
So right there is the plug for the radiator you can remove, and all the coolant will come out. So if you can get a hose on there like Randall's talking about, it will save you a mess, and we can drain it right into our bucket right there. Nothing coming out.
Oh, sheesh. So in most cases, it'll usually drain out of here.
The hose idea didn't last long.
Didn't last long.
Randall's giving her some love up top, squeezing the hose, forcing some air through the lines, through the core.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Forgot to open the other end up.
There we go.
Just wants to come out the back side over here, so I think that's what we're gonna do. So going back to what I said originally, as to trying not to remove our radiator and our condenser, we did find that this bracket that the previous owner made did puncture a little hole in the condenser right here. So thankfully we do have a lifetime warranty on this condenser, so I went ahead and evacuated the AC system. So now I have these lines off, and then we're going to go ahead and pull this off, drain our radiator as we're currently doing. We do have a set of electric fans that we're going to be making another video on, that we're going to go ahead and start that process as well and get it all done at once. So while I let the radiator drain a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and start taking off the intake and then the fan shroud here and this upper radiator hose. First I'm going to disconnect the mass airflow sensor connector right here. Just let that, put that off to the side. You can either use a flathead or an 8mm on these. Electric water pump conversion.
Do they have that?
Yeah.
Really? Sounds like it might fail though.
That's the sketchy thing with them is, obviously it's not mechanical, it's electric, but It's usually more so for like the race car. So now that I got the hose off and the intake, I can take the top piece of this shroud off. This shroud is actually 2 pieces. So we have a 10mm here, 10mm here. Then we have a plastic clip here, and then on the other side as well. Split that, and then this top portion comes off. So now for that plastic tab, which is right here.
Oh, it's just a regular push pin for like a fender liner.
Yeah. So that's all that is right there. You got another one of these on the other side. So.
Oh, there's another one.
Yep.
2 more.
Usually these are broken, so sometimes people don't even have these things in here. Maybe I'm just so used to working on clapped out Silverados. You're missing half the clips. Sometimes I forget some steps.
What is that?
This is an air hammer, so essentially a mini jackhammer, I guess. So to take off fan clutches, they actually have a tool, like a manual tool that you can use to hold. There's a couple holes on the pump here, or the pulley on the water pump. You can take a wrench and fight with it that way. Or you can use a flat chisel, which will chew up the bolt a little bit, or the nut on the fan clutch itself. I've never had any issues with it, but like I said, they do also make a tool for this that's a wrench that does the same thing without damaging the bolt. But since we're not going to be reusing this fan clutch, we're just going to go ahead and pound it off. Just like that. So as you can see, you will leave a little nick in the nut itself. I've never had a chewed up fan or that nut cause me any issues reinstalling it. Some people may say differently, but personally, I've never had any issues with it.
We got tons of room to play up here now.
Yep. So to remove the bottom piece of the shroud, this just pulls up right there, like so. So now we're gonna go ahead and take off this lower hose down here, since we're just about empty on the radiator, and then we'll go ahead and get the radiator pulled out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take off these transmission lines, these little plastic caps that go around. And then in here there's a little, I forget what these style of clips are called. I think they're called E-clips. I could be wrong, but essentially what you want to do is get something really small in there, and right here, if you can see, there's 2 little curved edges. What you want to do is get your pick or something small on one of these flat edges and pull out just a little bit, and then you can pull these out. Sometimes these things will go flying. If you aren't intending to replace your radiator, make sure you don't lose these. If you do lose them, it's not really a big deal. You can go down to AutoZone or O'Reilly's and pick up new ones. But just to eliminate that hassle, make sure you don't let them go fly. And then now you can just pull that out. You will have a little bit of transmission oil that will leak.
There's 2 of them.
Yep.
Repeat the process down below.
When you go to reinstall, you can actually put these back in without the hose being there, like so. And then when you go to reinsert the hose, all you have to do is literally just press it in like that, and it won't come out. So it's a little easier that way. Obviously we're taking them out, so we have another hose right here which goes up into our throttle body. Pull that off. So just gonna let that hang out over there. Have our other one right here. Sometimes if the hoses do get stuck on there, a pick, just be careful that you don't puncture a hole in it. But you can get up in backside of the hose and kind of work it around, and that'll free it up. Now we'll take off our bottom hose. And that is it. So now after we remove these 2 13mm bolts, the radiator will be free. Rubber bushing on the back side. good practice whenever you're pulling a radiator. Maybe you just want to replace it, or if it's leaking. It's always good practice if you don't know when the hoses have been changed last. If they don't visually look new, it's always good to just replace them. They're only 10-15 bucks, and something as simple as that can leave you stranded on the side of the road if it just does decide to burst, which can happen. So, like I said, just spend a little bit of extra money and get them replaced, and it's good practice just to do so. So now we'll go ahead and pull out the condenser. We did make a video on this. Super simple. 10mm bolt here and here. Now this right here just slides up and out. Like so, and that right there is what our suspect is, where we have our a small leak. Let's take a UV light and see if we can see anything. Got a UV light, black light. You can see, like right here, you got dye in the refrigerant. So whenever you're looking for a leak, this light right here will help you detect that. But I'm not seeing anything, but it does look like it has kind of rubbed its way through. We'll go ahead and get this swapped out for a new one. Just gonna let that hang down. Pull off these clips. We caught a big one, boys. Woo. These things are lifesavers. Start taking off these side bolts over here. So back here, there's a couple 10mm, kind of hard to see. If you're looking at this front post, directly behind, you'll see a couple 10mm. 15mm.
So right in there, my finger's pointing. Randall's going from underneath and getting some leftover bolts. Is it working out for you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use the electric ratchet. It's good for the eyes.
Safety squint.
Safety squint.
Yep, got it. Got the bolt. Washer fluid removal.
What we got going on here? It's really safe. That's what I mean by it's safe. You want to weld, or maybe put some stains in your drawers. That's one way to do it.
Did that touch this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a little fire hazard going on right there. Side post, worst thing ever.
It looks clean.
That's about all it's got going for it.
When those get corroded, you love that. You can't even get to it. Oh.
That's fresh. Yeah, just fluff it up, put it in there, and put the bolt around it. Great connection.
It's a new brush.
Sheesh.
We should just swap the engine while we're at it.
Yeah.
Round 2.
Boom.
Oh.
The 10 milli.
The 10 mil. You freaking won. Some good soup. Potato soup.
Little hammer. Feels really good in my ears.
Let out.
The fenders are in the way.
I should have just bought a clean title one.
This is the fun part.
Clean titles, no videos. You see a bolt?
A 10mm for the grounding strap. It's down there.
There, guys, right there.
The airbag impact sensors.
Yeah, those are good thing we disconnected the battery. That's why our hood's not fitting right.
Yes, sir.
We'll get her together tomorrow then. In the next episode of this 2-part series, we are going to be getting the front bumper fitting right. The headlights, the way they line up with the fender came together better than we thought. We're really excited about it. Look out for that coming up soon. If you're enjoying this content, the best way to support the channel is karmaspeed.com. Anything you purchase from there goes towards creating more awesome content. See you guys in the next episode.